You are watching T Radio V, radio in TV.
That is my new music, and I believe that white supremacy is in full effect. Kendrick Lamar did not win his Grammy yesterday for Best Album, and he can't be played now anymore because of clearances. So I think that the white powers that be are really trying to shut us down.
Yeah, I don't know who originally suggested that music for this show.
That was you.
Oh, yeah, it was. Because that music's dope. I mean, it's the best thing out there. It is a ripoff that he didn't win. Yeah, it's a ripoff. Here's one thing I know. Okay, we'll get into it.
But anyway, we're going to move on with racial constipation that's taking place in America. Everybody's all shook up right now about what's going on. I read this really, somebody posted on Instagram a quote that says, when you've experienced privilege for so long, equality feels like oppression. And I was like, that is so like on point right now with people that are being shook up. But we have so many things going on in the headlines, and we're going to try to talk about as many of them as we can. But right now, I want to introduce my guests. I have two of my favorite people in the house with me, Zainab Johnson, who was on Last Comic Standing the same season and has been blazing a trail in stand-up comedy and being a creator. And my boy Jake is back. I can call you boy because you white.
Okay,
right?
Sure.
And you won't
I'm
be
going to start a list of
offended.
things I'm allowed to call you then.
That's right. Watch that list, too. Be careful.
Sure. It's very short right now.
Yeah, I was going to say it's way shorter than...
Miss Rodriguez?
You don't have to call. I'm not Lauryn Hill. You don't have to call me
Okay, that's
Miss
good, that's
Rodriguez
good.
yet. But that is soon, I'm sure.
Sure. You're skyrocketing up. I see it.
So the Grammys, you made me laugh yesterday. There were timelines. Some people's timelines were really funny to me, and then some of them were just low common denominator, low hanging fruit. Mm-hmm. But your jokes were really funny. I posted it on my Instagram. I took pictures of them.
And I never do that. I never live tweet. I normally don't even tune into those types of shows. I usually watch just the highlights. Mm-hmm. And I just happen to be watching it. And I'm normally on a group conversation with my friends. That's my Twitter, private conversations with the people that I love, and they weren't available, so so I did it via Twitter, and yes, people seem to think it was funny. So thank you.
Because a lot of funny stuff. So first of all, Nicki Minaj, Rihanna, and Lauryn Hill did not show up to perform. Some people thought that there was a black girl protest. First of all, I resent the black girl protest comment because they're grown women. They're not girls. Mm-hmm. And Lauryn Hill is a grown-up. So Lauryn Hill, I don't know why she didn't go, but I know Nicki Minaj couldn't make it because of scheduling, and Rihanna has bronchitis. She was sick. So it wasn't a black girl protest. Beyonce was there.
Well, they just found out she was black, apparently. So
that was a great sketch on SNL. That was really, really
it was
good.
funny.
It was it was one of their better ones.
Yeah, they've been so missed for so many years. I thought that was so dead on. It was crazy.
The funniest part for me was when she thought her daughter was black. Yeah. And then Leslie walked in and was like,
yeah, that's my kid.
But yeah, so the Grammys was controversy. Kanye is back. Yeah. Right? But and everybody is, so they declared that mental illness. Somebody from his camp left and said that he needs some mental health help. I think Kanye's always been Kanye.
He's always been Kanye, and I think there's a fine line between insane and genius, and I think he teeters that line. Yeah. You know. There's certain things that I'm really on board with Kanye. He makes a lot of sense to me. And then there's certain life choices or choices that he makes publicly. And I'm like, I can't mess with you. Can we curse on? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. Just wanted to.
Yeah, that crazy Bill Cosby is innocent tweet. It's hard to look at somebody and take them serious when they put out ridiculous things next to, points that probably should be made.
You know what? I think that people genuinely think that. My brother was in town, and he feels like Bill Cosby. He feels like it's a conspiracy against a positive black man. And so with Kanye, the reason why I'm on the fence is because I just don't know if his tweet is to get a reaction or if that's how you really feel with something really substantive behind it. And that's what I need to know. And I don't think he can. I don't think he ever conveys what's really behind what he's saying. And that's why I'm always are you sick or are you dope? Like, like I don't
Right.
know.
And I also, so with Taylor Swift, they're going back and forth because he said that he got permission to say he made that bitch famous, and she's denying it now. And one thing I don't know him to be is a liar. Like, I know him to be crazy, but I don't know him to make up shit about people. So I'm a little bit on the fence with that whole thing with
Since
him.
when did you have to get permission to write song lyrics?
No, I
You
know.
don't, but to claim that you got the
But he
permission
did
and for
say
someone
he
else to
did.
say that they didn't give it, that becomes the issue.
He said
there.
that she did. She said it was cool, and that they had found a friendship, and then what happened was that maybe she thought that wasn't a good idea afterwards, because they were buddies for a minute.
I mean, it's possible that he could have said something like she didn't get what the full line was going to be. Like, he could have said something like, "Oh, I'm gonna talk about you in one of my songs and about how it helped make your name bigger." Oh, okay, that sounds fine. But like to say that I'm gonna probably fuck you someday because I made you a little bit more famous is that's derogatory at the least.
I think it's funny,
I
but I'm sick.
I remember, I think it was maybe the Video Music Awards. Kanye made that speech, and he was like, "Y'all probably gonna think I'm high," and I did smoke, and I was thinking about, because I got a daughter now, like how she would have felt if somebody came and did what I did to Taylor Swift, whatever. And the most important thing he said in that speech to me was, like, they get ratings just off of that controversy. So it's like it pays for anyone and everyone, Kanye and Taylor Swift included, to keep that going.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It pays. All I kept seeing on CNN today was they kept replaying the speech. She's talking directly to Kanye West. They brought 7 different experts from the hip hop community. Who's she talking to? I'm like, where's the news? Where's Ebola? We ain't got no more Trump. Like, like that's not.
Why
it
is
just
that news?
pays
Yeah.
to keep that going. It pays for her success, for his success, Grammys. You know what I'm saying? It's like not important to me. And I hate to say, oh, a topic is not, but it's just like.
Yeah, it's not important. It really isn't important in the big scheme of things when we have 3 politicians the 3 leaders of the GOP, Mark Rubio, who posted a picture about, what did he post a picture about? The beautiful American something, and it was a Canadian
Beautiful
picture.
American morning, and they showed Vancouver.
And then Donald Trump made a video with American soldiers, and they were actually Russian soldiers. And then Ted Cruz made a commercial with a porn star, and had to pull that because he's a family values
Saying
guy.
she's a porn star is a little bit
Or a porn
farther than
actress.
she's at. She's never had, dick in her mouth on camera.
Well, what did she, like, clear it up?
She's an erotic model, like she will have her boobs out. It's like it's the difference
okay.
between like Bikini Car Wash on Showtime and a Hustler magazine.
Gotcha.
Like,
So she's not having sex on camera.
yeah, that's right.
So she's not a porn, but
Right,
but
so
she's not a person that's representative of family values
Yeah,
in
of
line
kids.
with Ted Cruz.
that's true.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's
so
true.
that's why he had to pull the commercial. Because what she did was capitalize on it, and she was on CNN. She was on.
Oh,
all the
sure.
media outlets.
And then a month from now, she will be a real
Yes,
porn
she is.
star. There's no way she will be a real porn star. Like, she'll get that Vivid offer, and man.
And these are our 3 leading GOP candidates. So while we're worried about Taylor Swift and Kanye, these people are sweeping the nation. I think it's funny, though. I do think that Taylor Swift was brought to people's attention who had not known who she was because of Kanye.
I agree, too.
And I agree with that. And I'm sorry because I didn't know who Taylor Swift was before Kanye did that.
There's just as many people who didn't know who Kanye was before he did that either. Like, whoever was next to him was going to benefit in that situation. But it was his loony behavior that made it happen. So that's true. But it's still it's not the right way of apologizing or thanking that person by publicly saying you're going to fuck them. I mean, it's not like we're going to go out on a date and we're going to have like a fun time playing at the beach. I'm going to fuck you because I made you more famous.
I think he said
you owe it to me.
Basically,
you owe it to me.
I think the funny what always boggles my mind in life is like we can't predict the future, and once something happens, we see this like course of action, and we don't know what would have happened. Like in the movie Top 5, I hate to bring up old stuff, but when they argue about like who's the best rappers, and everybody's like, Tupac or Biggie, and Chris Rock is like, I don't know, like Tupac now could be doing like DeVry commercials.
Sure.
Like we
Right.
don't really know what his trajectory, what we think we know, but we don't know. So I have no idea where Kanye or Taylor Swift would be right now. But you know, if that didn't happen, but I know where they are. And as much as I think that I think it's still an objectification. Like, yeah, I made you famous. We're agreeing with that. But, like, do you have to say, so I should have sex, you know, so I should fuck you? Or, like, I don't know. That seems to be, like, below the belt.
Yeah, it's a level beyond what it should be.
Well,
and is it disrespectful to his wife? I mean,
no, not
the porn star?
His wife.
Sure.
No, his wife. You know what, and I agree with that, but I think that it's interesting to me what objectification of women becomes valid in the media and to America, because Kanye West has been talking shit about fucking bitches for album upon album, but it's precious little Taylor Swift, the little white girl who is, you know, the little country singer, white girl, whatever she is, pop star, and that's really, really offensive. It's really, really offensive. I also don't think Taylor Swift should have won that Grammy over Kendrick Lamar.
I don't either.
And this is the second time he's gotten by the Grammys. The last time was Macklemore. Where's Macklemore? Is Macklemore back there with you guys? Everybody know where Macklemore is?
He's in a commercial, like a Verizon commercial in a pool or something, right?
Okay.
He's in one of them commercials.
That happened? Wow.
Yeah, he's like in a pool with like fully dressed.
Thank God. We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we're going to talk about Kendrick Lamar's performance because I think that deserves a little bit of conversation. If you want to call us.
855-878-4652.
Thank you.
Welcome.
They keep moving my, you
Your
guys
sign,
know.
yeah.
They keep moving my sign.
855-878-4652.
Please call us. Don't tweet us. We cannot respond until after the show. When we come back, we're going to talk about the performances at the Grammy, and we're going to talk about what's the white girl's name who made the face during Taylor Swift's speech. When we come back, we're going to talk about the white girl who made the face.
But I saw it.
It's a meme now. It's like
she made a face.
Yeah.
It was a Tori Kelly.
Yeah.
Tori Kelly's face.
Kelly, who is very talented.
I have no idea who she is.
She sang at the BET Awards and shut
Tori
it down.
Kelly, I don't know why she's not famous right
she's
now. I don't know why she's not Taylor Swift. But I digress.
We'll be right back with Truth Serum.
You are watching T Radio V, radio in TV.
Hi kids, Billy and Francesca here for my brand new show at T Radio V, Advice from an Idiot, every Thursday from 7 to 8 p.m. Pacific time. So please call in and get some advice from someone who knows absolutely nothing about everything.
I'm Zoe Williams.
And I'm Dr. Mark Goulston.
I'm Jeff Brown.
And we make up the Zoe What Morning Show. You can find us here on TRadiov.com every Monday at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I make you think.
He makes you laugh, and if I get a chance, I'll help you change.
Or make you cry with his attempts at humor.
Radio in TV.
Can you relate? We'll make it happen.
Look at Jeff. What you doing?
Were you mumbling to yourself?
Hey, back there, mama.
To them.
Yo, what's up? This is your boy Kyle Master, and you're checking out T Radio V.
T Radio V.
T Radio V.
Hello, T Radio V. Love you guys. Radio in TV. Radio in TV.
Hi, I'm Plastic Martyr, and I've got a new show called Just Like You on T Radio V. It's an inside look into my Hollywood life where I give you a sneak peek into a world of beauty, fashion, and fame. Illusions will be shattered. And of course, there's a little sex, hugs, and rock and roll. Be sure to check it out Wednesdays at 11, only on T Radio V.
You are watching T Radio V, radio in TV.
We are listening to the soundtrack of Breaking 2 Electric Boogaloo. I feel like Ozone is going to come out pop locking out of somewhere.
That would be dope.
That's right. That would be dope.
Yep.
So let's talk about Kendrick Lamar's performance, because just like Beyonce's performance at the Super Bowl, I saw so many tweets that if that would have been a white person, it would have been considered
It would have been
racist.
confusing. if that was a white person, because a lot of the message wouldn't have made any sense.
Okay.
You know,
As a white person, I'd like to hear you talk about.
I'm just saying that, like, I'm not saying that like it'd be bad. I'm just saying like it wouldn't. The lyrics wouldn't make any sense for a white guy to say it.
Right.
You know, but you need messages for everyone to hear. Like at some point, we're gonna have to have like a Chinese guy out there talking about the struggles that his people have had in America. It just
No.
Yeah, it'll have to happen. It's up to people who have already not had their time, but like have aren't as oppressed to say like it's okay, man. Like put on that performance. Like I can still enjoy this. I don't have to walk out of it empowered. But if someone else walks out of it empowered, then that should be good for everybody.
Well, I honestly felt like I thought it was a good performance. And I thought the funniest thing about his performance was the reaction of the white faces in the audience. Like there's also a meme going around with the white people.
Yeah.
The people that looked a little bit scared.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so tired of hearing that when black people of color love themselves, that is hating white people, because we're so accustomed to not hearing it. Because it is embedded in the fiber of this country for people of color to hate themselves, because everything tells us that there's something wrong with us for being people of color. So I think that, Kendrick Lamar delivered a very powerful performance, but then again, he's Kendrick Lamar. He's not Marcus Garvey. So I'm like, what the fuck is the problem? You were gonna say something.
The difference is the reason why I had a reaction to you saying, at some point Asian people will have to speak up. A big difference, and I feel like black people feel this way, is that Asian people weren't brought here against their will. There's a very big difference at the beginning of history that changes the way we deal with things, and that's something that has to be considered whenever speaking about it. I
guess when I say that, I'm not thinking that that's like such an issue that it needs to be addressed at the moment. I guess in my head when I think it, I think like 100 years from now, or hopefully sooner than that, when there is more of a parity between different skin tones, that eventually everyone's going to have that point where there'll be the thing where like, oh, this is the first time that an Armenian has been out here telling the story of the genocide that happened against them, and like we're going to have all of these things eventually. But
I can agree with.
The key is how does one deal with it? Like, and as someone who's been from, I know people say I'm on the privileged side. I can make a case that I'm not, but I'm not going to do that. That it's up to us to say, it's fine. Let's all watch this and hope that people can feel better about the situation that they're in the world and learn from it and have a better society from it.
I love To Pimp a Butterfly. I love that album. I listen to it from the first second to the last second very often. I think that performance was a perfect match for it. I love that Kendrick Lamar is unapologetic. I completely love it. I hate the fact that people compare it to Formation. That was the true Formation to me. I do not agree with Beyonce's attempt. That's my personal opinion.
One second, real quick. She got that through on the Super Bowl. You know how many people that tell her that you can't do that, you can't do that? She got that message through on the Super Bowl. So
I don't believe somebody told her she couldn't do it.
I 100% know there's someone out there who's like, oh, this is too controversial. We have to pull back on this.
Well, she wasn't on the original lineup. So she used her personal relationship to
she
get
still
on
got
there.
that's through on the Super Bowl.
They were not on the original. She wasn't. Her nor Bruno Mars were on the original. That was just supposed to be a Coldplay performance. And
people knew in advance that they were going to be there, though, right? I mean, definitely the Bruno Mars had broken.
No, not until like maybe a week or so when they started.
I didn't mean to take away from the point you're going to, because I just want to make that point about the Super Bowl. Please continue.
And I got ADHD, so I think, I'm crack baby era. So my memory is, but what I was going to say was, I always feel empowered when I see something like what Kendrick performed last night. When I listened to his album, I feel empowered. However, when they pan to like the audience, I don't feel like we've been having the conversation. We have the conversation all the time in our houses, with our parents, with our brothers, with our loved ones. We have the conversation. It's not like I'm not surprised at what Kendrick Lamar did. He did exactly what I expect of him. I understand exactly what he did. But I feel like it's you in the group of people that you represent that need to have the conversation and be faced with it all the time, because it seems to me like that group of people are like having a hard time dealing with it, and it's not even your hardship. Do you get what I'm saying? I don't know if you noticed in that performance, Kendrick Lamar changed the lyric, a very pertinent lyric. Forget the lyric, which even goes more into, I'm sure nobody tried to shut Beyonce's bum ass formation down. They know it. They know it ain't really. They know the bigger picture is she got on a leotard and do, you know what I'm like? Come on with it. People were saying, oh, it's they to see dark skinned women in that image. I went back and looked at that Instagram picture. Them women weren't dark skinned. They had afros, but they weren't dark skinned. There wasn't a woman in that picture darker than me. And when I argue how dark skinned I am, sometimes black people be like, you ain't dark. You know what I'm saying? Like, sorry, I could go on.
Sure. No. This is called Truth Serum. This is a venue for you to express what you really feel.
I think that Kendrick Lamar's performance was necessary, but also entertaining. And Taylor Swift, she opened up the Grammys with her performance, and I think her performance versus his performance was just a clear indicator of why the award that she got was given to the wrong person. For me, it was like kind of like, you know what? It's like just in case you didn't know, it's right here. It's like right on. It's like obvious. You know what I'm saying? And it's still like a slap.
Maybe
in the
if
face.
they gotten to vote after the performances, it would have gone a different way.
They're voting on the albums, and
they're voting on the album, but it's for me, it's still reflective. It's you know what I'm saying. It's still reflective. Her performance matched her album, and don't get me. I like Taylor Swift's album.
I've never listened to her album.
I like Taylor Swift's album, but the best song on her album.
Can you listen to it from beginning to end?
Absolutely not. And the best song on her album was made better by the feature from Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the you know what I'm like.
Sure.
Yeah, because my daughter listens to it, and I think I don't listen to Taylor Swift. I've heard 2 songs. That's what I hear when I think about Taylor Swift. No offense. Also, I'm a grown woman, and I have a daughter that listens to Taylor Swift. But I like
Taylor Swift, just FYI.
I'm fascinated by the fact that all these black grown-ups want to hang out with Taylor Swift. Like Jay-Z and Beyonce went to her birthday party. Like, to me, that's weird. Like, she's a child to me.
Odd, yeah.
It's kind of like strange. Like, what is this? This Hollywood shit is weird now. It's gotten really weird. I think his performance, what I did say about Beyonce, because we had a very interesting conversation in San Francisco about this, and people were destroying her. And I said, my expectation of Beyonce is that she's Beyonce. She's not Sojourner Truth.
Yeah.
And that is her version of her revolution using the platform that she has. But she can't win for losing, because there's nothing that Beyonce can do. When she did the thing for Trayvon Martin, they criticized her for that. When she fell back, they criticized her for that. When she gave money to Black Lives Matter, there's nothing Beyonce can do to win. Beyonce is who Beyonce is. She's not Lauryn Hill. She's not.
I think for me, and just, I know it doesn't seem, when I make these arguments, it seems like I am not a Beyonce fan. Just so everybody knows, if you try to come to my house and you ring the doorbell, you're going to have to call up Beyonce Knows. And if you log on to the Wi-Fi in my house, the Wi-Fi network is Beyonce Knows. I love Beyonce. However, when she does certain things, it's very disingenuous to me. And it's not a Beyonce thing. It's any person that I see, any person in my personal life or in the public life. When I am experiencing something that seems disingenuous to me, I'm sorry, I just can't fuck with it. I can't get on board. And it sickens me how we follow trend. I think it will be actually, and this is me being very honest with you.
But I don't think she increased the Black Panther
no, I don't think so either.
Membership.
But just like my timeline of people who, I'm like, did you actually listen to the lyrics? Because the video, it was cute.
The visual doesn't
match what she's saying, but people don't. They just repost and repeat and are like zombies, and
they're sheep.
Yeah,
and majority of them are, and that's
you know what?
Are.
And it may every day I wake up and every night I go to sleep thinking this may be the death of my career. being unable to be disingenuous. And I think that's exactly when you say these Hollywood people, they want to hang out with Taylor Swift, disingenuous.
Yeah. I agree. Well, that's my battle as well. I always think it's because I am, and especially because people don't expect me to believe what I believe because they don't understand who I am and what I know about myself and my history. They're like, they don't think that I'm going to be a revolutionary and a black nationalist. And I'm a mother.
Because you look like you could pass. And they like, if you could pass, why ain't you passing? That's what people,
Yeah, but
Sorry.
I love myself and I love us. And I don't hate anyone, but I'm not going to be penalized for loving us. And I think that there's a penalty for us exhibiting love for ourselves now. And I think that the psyche of white supremacy is cracking because they can't fuck with all the shit that's happening and that's actually going down. And people are having meltdowns because they're not used to what's happening. And it's really, really scary.
I feel like I got
just
so
got
aggressive with
like a real whip over my direction. Like, let's see how he's holding up under this pressure.
No, because we've had these conversations before.
Sure, we'll get into it.
And I'm so sweet.
Oh yeah, sure. And I'm not
Don't let the smooth taste fool you.
I'm not totally a devil.
So we're gonna come back. Jake, tell them to call us.
Call us at 855-878-4652.
We want to hear from you.
Yeah.
We're gonna keep talking about what we're talking about on Truth Serum. You stay if you want our truth, and if not, you can go watch one of them shows where people talk about bullshit.
Yeah, like
We'll be
Celebrity
right
Name
back.
Game with Craig Ferguson.
I love when you go in.
That show's terrible.
You are watching T Radio V, radio in TV.
I'm Laura Somoza.
I'm Sterling Gardner.
And we are Between the Sheets every Monday here, 3 p.m., tradiov.com.
T Radio V.
That's right, it's T Radio V, radio in TV. What is that face?
He wants to see our hands.
That's radio in TV. Wah, 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 wah.
We're not a couple.
Hi kids, Billy and Francesca here for my brand new show at T Radio V, Advice from an Idiot, every Thursday from 7 to 8 p.m. Pacific time. So please call in and get some advice from someone who knows absolutely nothing about everything.
Hey, my fellow thoughters out there. I'm Charles Shaughnessy. Check out my new show, Here's a Thought, with Charles Shaughnessy, August the 7th, 3 p.m. PST, right here on T Radio V. Now, you know I have a lot to say, but I want to hear what you have to say. So tune in, grab your phones, call me, tweet me, email me in the studio, and let's get this conversation going. Here's a Thought, starting August the 7th, 3 p.m. PST, right here on T Radio V. That's radio in TV.
You are watching T Radio V, radio in TV.
That's the dance.
I love it. I think it's funny that people who are appalled by the Grammys. I'm like, they were talking about the Oscars so white, Grammys so white. It's the same people.
Yeah.
It's just a different group, but it's like the same people.
Sure, these are their wives, these are their husbands. It's the same families.
The Grammys is an old, we keep getting appalled when they say to us, "You're not good enough," and we continue to say, "Yes, we are," and we have to stop that.
These awards are all bullshit. There's no reason for just about any of them.
But they drive careers.
Yeah, they
make people happy for a night. There are TV shows. All they are is TV shows.
Yeah, but Taylor Swift winning a Grammy benefits from her winning a Grammy. That creates a venue for her So yet
there's a bunch of happy 14-year-old girls out there.
Go
Because no one else is buying those
advertising
albums.
dollars. No. She'll go and she'll get 9 campaigns that make it so she never has to come out with an album again if she wants to. Meanwhile, there's a really big
Okay, so
difference.
what if
And
you
that's
did something where, like,
that's something to not be taken lightly.
what if you do something where, like, everybody just decides, like, who gives a shit who wins these awards? Like, it really is us that's giving them too much power. Like, we've all decided that
we don't have any power. It's the power.
We have the power now
here
here to have an entire hour conversation about what they mean to us. I mean, that's already giving them too much power in our lives.
But do you think that if we didn't have this conversation, the Grammys would go away?
If we all just ignored them, everything goes away. Everything you ignore goes away.
Okay.
I mean, that's how things go away.
I agree with that. I just feel like there's way more of people following and saying, I don't care what you say, I'm watching the Grammys. That's important to me than people really sitting down and having these conversations. And that's like people can say just in terms of like black people, they can say we got to do our own awards and we got to do like that sounds good, but it actually has to be, it has to be done. It sounds
it
good.
has been done. I mean, there are like the BET Awards and all sorts of NAACP Image Awards and
there are
other things like that. I used to work for Soul Train, so I would do the Soul Train Music Awards. Like there's all sorts of different ones.
The difference is that I've never actually seen a big blockbuster movie say, coming to you next summer, Soul Train Award winner. I've never seen that.
Sure.
Never seen that. So
Until
I say
matters,
he's won 9 BET awards this summer. We've spent $90 million on Universal Lot to show you the 9-time BET award winner. Like I just have never seen that. So
let's try the campaign and see how it goes. I mean,
yeah, let's try it.
I'll
be in debt like Kanye.
Maybe successful.
Yeah, that's the funniest shit ever. It's true because it's always 2-time Oscar winner.
Yeah.
Oscar nominee.
Okay, honestly, these awards used to matter. There used to be 40, 50 million people watching them. I mean, last night they pulled 5 million people or something like that. They used to actually matter. But now, everyone just wants to talk about what happened. No one actually wants to.
They still trended on Twitter.
Yeah.
That's their 50 million viewership right there.
Even then, it's a small percentage of those people who were talking about it on Twitter. Like the overlap on people who watch it and people who complain about it is very small. Like all it is someone reads a recap about it an hour later and oh, well, fuck that then, and they type away about why this offended them, even though they were never actually there for any of it. Because I like to complain.
You know what
fun.
I would think is a win if next week the Oscars came and nobody showed up. Black people, white people, nobody showed up.
That's how you
that
make
would be a
statement.
win.
Mm-hmm.
That would be a win, and that would not only be a win
because there's going to be some
that would not only be a win for, I think that would be a historical win for the United States of America, for black actors, white actors, and entertainers, Indian, Asian, whatever, the crew, the writers, everybody to just not show up.
I think that would be classic. And for all of those white actors that did speak up and say, yeah, it is racist and this is wrong, then let's see if you're going to show up. And even the black ones, because I think that it's interesting that there's all this talk, but you'll see that red carpet. People are still going to show up, and what are you wearing? And, at some point, if you want to make a change, you have to stand up for something at some point. And the problem with artists is that when they're hot, they don't want to lose that moment because we're so egocentric. Are you one of those people that will say, I know I would, because I have. And
and the reality is people like to eat. Like, let's not forget, people like to eat. Like, you're invited to the Oscars. That means you are generating money for somebody somewhere. People like to make money. Like, we're not fools. Like, right now, I'm like, I can't do like Black Power, boycott the Oscars. But I ain't getting no invitation. It's real easy for me not to show up. It'd be a harder decision for me to make, and I'm just being honest.
Right.
If they're like, Zainab, you're nominated for this, so, like, we want you to give the Best Actress. My agent would be in my ear like, 1 million people are gonna see. You're gonna sell out a show tomorrow after. That's a very different decision than me right now. Like, basically my plans are Chipotle, and that's not a hard decision to make.
Free burrito coupon from Chipotle.
It's
I'm
not
very
a hard
excited
decision
to
to make. So so when you say these awards don't matter, there's a lot of money being generated.
We put too much stock in them, though, is what I'm saying. And they used to mean a lot more. A lot more people watched them. I'd like to start some type of, thought about this in the middle of you guys talking, I'd like to start some type of social media app where you can only complain about something if you experienced it. So like you get some type of RF code that goes out on your TV when the Grammys are on, which opens up like the ability to actually talk about it online that way, because then you have some, like you've experienced it, you've seen it, and you can write about it instead of people making up secondhand comments about why they're offended.
But they are experiencing it, and it is for them. That is why they do this.
Okay, no, there's no way. Because
they're not doing this for us. That is their experience.
Everybody today who sat down to watch, let's say, the Kendrick Lamar performance from last night, read the teaser to the article as they started. Kendrick Lamar's amazing performance, Kendrick Lamar's profound performance, whatever it is, it's coloring what you're going to get out of it. And those are the most basic terms I could use for it. Right. As opposed to when you're sitting down and watching it. Maybe when you sit down and watch it and you're just taking it into your head, you experience it in a different way. And you don't walk away as offended as knowing that there's some type of message that was in there that you're supposed to absorb with everybody else.
But if you're a racist or a bigot, and in your mind that's who you are, there is nothing that Kendrick Lamar is going to do in his performance that's going to make you say, the first moment that he said what he said about black power and black love was offensive to a whole bunch of people.
Okay, let's also talk about,
or if not even just offensive, it's just like, why is he so angry?
Yeah.
Wait a second, I thought this was music and fun. Why is he in chains? Those Did we do something with the jail? Did
they do a program?
Did we switch to MSNBC?
Like they don't. It's like Clueless, basically.
Pretty much. So I think that and that's what we're dealing with, and that was, it's funny. They showed the people two people showed up to the Beyonce protest at the NFL. They thought
literally two people.
Literally two people showed up. I think it was the organizer. And her friend. It was 50-something degrees out there, so it wasn't that cold. And I thought it was funny because there was so much of an uproar. To your point, if it was such a threat and it was really that big of an issue, where were the protesters? And why are they protesting the NFL? What are they going to do? What can the NFL do now? That
time machine technology. Go back and take away the performance.
She's already done it.
Yeah, so there's nothing they can do. So like, everybody who didn't show up there, smart. Those two people are kind of dummies. Like there's nothing they can do.
I mean, the NFL's not going to do anything they didn't do anything about all their players having concussions and killing themselves at 40, right?
That wasn't even the best video from the Super Bowl halftime. The best video from the Super Bowl halftime was it was who is Beyonce's husband?
Jay-Z.
Jay-Z getting a video shot with him in like the luxury box, and I think it's like I don't know, some other guy.
Luxury box,
yeah. He pulls up the thing. He's like shooting a Snapchat video or something. He's like, "What is this?" It's Snapchat. He's like, "I don't know what that is." It's like Jay-Z is old.
Oh, he's a grown up. Jay-Z just doesn't have time for Snapchat.
He doesn't know what any of that stuff is.
Being rich.
I'd have to show the video. Okay, tune into my show on Wednesday here on Grand Theft Audio, and I'll show that video.
I think that Jay-Z would make an amazing halftime show performance, and he's never been asked to do it, and that's offensive. Say the word for me.
Arguably.
Yeah, arguably.
Arguably.
Yeah. One of the best rappers of all time.
Sure.
And now an amazing business person, truly went from nothing to something.
Have they had a rapper on the halftime show besides him and any other?
I don't think so. And he loves Curb Your Enthusiasm. Because I think he's more of the intellect there. I don't think.
Between him and Beyonce. Oh, come on. Yeah. Sorry. You don't even have to say intellect with Beyonce in the same sense. Offensive? Sorry.
No. I've never.
But she's amazing. Like.
She can dance and sing.
She can entertain.
And she's a great entertainer.
Whew.
Absolutely, she is. So when we come back, we're going to talk about Valentine's Day, because Valentine's Day got snubbed by Beyonce and everything that happened. We won't touch the other topics because this has been so riveting. I'm so excited about this conversation because we don't have these honest conversations. Everybody gets scared to say what they really think. And I'm like, fuck that. Tell the truth.
That's what the shoe is.
Yeah, tell your truth. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about what happened on Valentine's Day to the people in the audience. We're going to lighten it up so that you white people that are mad.
They should call in and tell us about their stuff at 855-878-4652.
Thank you. This music is like, I feel like Action Jackson is about to come out.
You are watching T Radio V, radio in TV.
Hi, I'm Plastic Martyr, and I've got a new show called Just Like You on T Radio V. It's an inside look into my Hollywood life where I give you a sneak peek into a world of beauty, fashion, and fame. Illusions will be shattered. And of course, there's a little sex, hugs, and rock and roll. Be sure to check it out Wednesdays at 11, only on T Radio V.
T Radio V.
What did you play opposite Andy, Eric? Do you remember?
Andy and I worked as two employees at a network.
Okay. Oh, you're forgetting the other thing.
I played a news anchor, and he played a reporter.
Okay, but the other thing you did, the thing you did on the Andy Dick show, who did you play to Andy?
Oh, is that who played my sister?
You played his wife, Denise.
Yeah.
Yeah, you played his wife.
Yeah. So what's wrong with that, Eliza?
Nothing's wrong with it.
He's got a great range as an actor.
Yeah, it just was funny.
Encounters with Eric and Eliza Roberts, Wednesdays from 2 to 4 p.m. on T Radio V.
Hi kids, Billy and Francesca here for my brand new show at T Radio V, Advice from an Idiot, every Thursday from 7 to 8 p.m. Pacific Time. So please call in and get some advice from someone who knows absolutely nothing about everything.
You are watching T Radio V, radio in TV.
Yeah.
We're having a conversation on air, off air. We are growing. We're going to lighten the show up a little bit because Beyonce stole people's Valentine's Day. Well, actually, that was All-Star Weekend. She did Super Bowl weekend, but I think we've been talking about controversy about her and what's going on with Black Lives Matter.
So you're saying that she Grinched us out of a Valentine's Day?
I think it's been so we've been so inundated
You're
with
a mean one.
Beyonce and now Kendrick Lamar, that Valentine's Day kind of got. We didn't talk about it, so I was working on Valentine's Day. I wanted to find out what happened for you guys. Do you celebrate Valentine's Day? This is my
Ladies
Valentine's
first.
Day show.
I learned that on Valentine's Day.
I was working too. I had a good time. I did 2 shows at the Improv, and but I did notice that both crowds that were very different. It was mostly couples, and people seemed to be happy to be out. They seemed festive. I'm not sure if I remember Valentine's falling on like a 3-day weekend, but I think that kind of has something to do. Like, you know, my audiences ranged from very senior age all the way down to like, you know, however young you can be to be in a comedy club. And so, you know, it was nice to look out and see people kind of like enjoying and celebrating their relationships and just kind of like being out. I'm not so much. I think it's a commercial. But see, I don't know if people notice, but I'm Muslim, so that's all. My mama told me, Zainab, that's paganism. right. So all my life, you ask me something about Valentine's Day, it's the same for me. Christmas, Easter, that's all lumped up in the same thing for me. So
just because I don't know, are there any common holidays that Muslims?
No. We have the Eids and something that's really big for us that I think the world knows is Ramadan, where we fast for 30 days and then we celebrate after Ramadan is over. We have the Eid, but then there's like 2 more Eids throughout the year that aren't associated with Ramadan. But no, we don't share any of the sort of Christian faith.
So when you buy a calendar and it has things written on it, you can just basically script through everything because none of it really means anything, right?
I mean, it means a lot though, because I live in a world that's run by a government.
The banks may be closed on some day you don't give a shit about.
And the flip side is when I'm in June when it's 100 degrees in LA and there's 17 hours of sunlight, I'm fasting. I'm not eating for 17 hours. I'm not drinking. And everybody's just doing them. And I have to continue my life. I have to, get on stage.
Have you ever thought about going someplace where the days are shorter for those 40 days just so it wouldn't be so terrible?
Yeah, I've thought about it.
You know,
I thought about a lot of things.
Have you ever
I've
looked
thought
at like
about
the place that has the shortest day on Earth during those 40 days and just been like, what does it cost to do a B&B there?
Yeah, I thought about it.
Eat before dawn?
What
I
did
thought
you
about
do?
it.
You know,
You're
what did
married.
I do? Okay, well, real quick point. You pointed out something in there that is interesting to me. It's rare to have a holiday back-to-back. So, like, we
Yeah.
had Valentine's Day and then President's Day. I searched my brain. I couldn't really think of another situation where there were two recognized days back-to-back like that. What did I do? I'm married. I've been married now coming up on 6 years. So I used to have the exciting Valentine's Day. I used to have the nerve-wracking Valentine's Day where it was all, I have to do everything I can to please my lady. You know, I want her to feel like she's special. Like the first couple years, I would do the thing where you'd send like flowers to her work because I was told you have to make her look good in front of all of her female friends at work and everything because that goes like a long way. Then she comes home and like she's mad about it. I'm like, well, what's going on? She's like, you should know that I don't like my flowers cut. You should have sent plants. I'm like, you can't get plants sent to an office. I don't know. It was like, I learned a lot from it. But now, like, it's much more relaxed. It gets to be a lot of, all I really want to do is spend time with you. And we got to do something awesome. We tried a new recipe. So we spent hours in the kitchen together cooking and experimenting and making things. And that was a lot of fun.
Nice.
That was great.
That does sound nice. All right, you just reminded me. I was actually getting a manicure and a pedicure on Sunday. And one of the nail techs, who's a Korean woman, her husband came in with a plant, a big plant, must be her favorite plant, and she was in the middle of doing some gels, and she's like, set it down, and every single person in the nail shop just clapped. It was super sweet because I think when you go into those places where, these immigrants perform services for you, you never really see like their home life or their family life, and it was just really nice to see that gesture of, but for me it was cute.
Yeah, it's cool.
That's very sweet.
How did you spend yours?
I was on stage.
Yeah.
I always wanted.
You had a long run up in San Francisco this weekend?
It was just 6 shows. It was Thursday
Good
through
run,
Sunday.
good run.
Yeah, no, it was you know what, but what I do remember is that I didn't acknowledge that it was Valentine's Day. And, I was married to a Muslim, so when we didn't celebrate holidays and we compromised on not raising our children.
Is that convenient or inconvenient, having less to celebrate?
It was convenient for me because in the programming of my children, I did not want to program them to be consumer slaves, and I didn't want them to value those days over other days. So if you ever give my kid a card, a gift, they will always read the card first. They don't go for the gift because it's in their programming to value.
Good parenting.
Just to I don't know if I don't want to just say good parenting is just my style, but I didn't want my kids to get caught up on, I think Mother's Day is every day. Your mom, it should be important to you every day. You don't celebrate your mother one day out of the year and then say.
So then, now that your kids know that, right? So do you wake up on Mother's Day thinking, oh, my kids know that, so I better not get something today? Or do you wake up thinking, oh, it'd be nice if I got just like a little extra, hey, Mom.
I never expect anything. I don't expect anything on any of the days.
I wasn't asking you expected it.
No,
I was just asking if like part of you would still enjoy like a little bit of extra.
I enjoy any time I'm celebrated. I love just because flowers above all things, because that means you were thinking about me. Then Twitter and commercials telling you, hey, this is the day. There is nothing like just because flowers for me. But I mean that's just something that it's in my programming now, and that's how my kids are as well. So, I was on stage, and I was on stage doing what I love to do. So for me, that was the ultimate Valentine's Day, because I love, and and the special person that I celebrate everything with is the same way as I am. So we don't think about stuff like that. So it just made it okay for me.
I don't know as much about Muslimism.
Islam.
Sorry.
Muslimism.
I don't know. I mean, honestly, I don't know. It's not a world I've trafficked in much. Is birthday celebrated, or is it like the Jehovah's Witnesses who also won't celebrate themselves?
We celebrated birthdays because my mom, having grown up Christian, she felt like she wanted to be able to share something with that, have us be celebratory with something. So birthdays are actually a big deal for me. Like, if you date me and you don't acknowledge my birthday, we're not going to make it.
Yeah.
But Islam in general.
Anything that's like, no, you don't have to. It's not against Islam. As far as I know, it's not haram to celebrate a birthday, but it's also not like, this is what you can do. No.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. I just don't know it, so.
So this week I'm going to take I'll say it for you and put it on Facebook. So I'm not going to do it on the show because I have a lot of stuff that I want to talk about, and I want to use Facebook because that's where I get the most response. But I want you to get in touch with these people and follow them and stay in touch with them. So Jake, tell them where they can find you.
All right. You can find me at Twitter at Jake Belcher, Instagram at Jake Belcher GTA, and you can always watch my show here on T Radio V Wednesday nights at 6 p.m. Grand Theft Audio. Thanks.
You can find me on all social media platforms. It's Zainab Johnson. That's Zainab Johnson. And if you have iTunes, listen to my podcast. It's called Just Friends. It's a relationship podcast, and it's fun.
And where are you going to be next?
Oh my God! I'll be in New York from the 24th until the 1st, and you can catch me at the Comedy Cellar most nights, and you can also catch me at UCB. If you check my website, you'll see all the dates.
And Aida, AIDA.com. I'm fighting for the proper pronunciation of my name. You can't call me Ada anymore. It's Aida. I told my grandmother I would do that. On the 23rd, I will be at the Stand in New York, and then I'm off to Israel for a week, and we won't be here next week. We will be back the following Tuesday with a brand new show on a brand new network. Please keep tuning in. We're on iTunes. We're on SoundCloud, and we're here. Thank you for tuning in to Truth Serum. And as we go out, listen to this whack 80s music, because the man won't let us listen to Kendrick Lamar.
I'm the biggest hypocrite of 2000.
You are watching T Radio V, Radio and TV.